want to have that main deck counter spell to defend yourself.
So either way, Jerry Thompson moves on to 2-1. We come in here, Todd Anderson on your right, Brandon Dye on your left. A little bit ironic here, Todd Anderson playing Esper Deathblade, his opponent playing Todd's probably favorite or second favorite deck in all of Legacy, Maverick.
Yeah, Todd Anderson really championed this deck through most of last year on the Open Series and brought it to the forefront. He was all over. I believe he won a Legacy Open with a Maverick deck in Atlanta, I want to say. So he's very familiar with it too. So it should give him plenty of knowledge on how to defeat a Maverick deck. And maybe that's why Todd Anderson is up 1-0 over Brandon Dye right now.
Yeah, he's playing against what looks to be a pretty good-looking Maverick deck. We see a nice little forest there and a foil Noble Hierarch. So Brandon Dye is going to be on the play this game. Going to sacrifice the Misty Rainforest. We'll see what land he's going to search out and see if he has the all-important turn 2 Knight of the Reliquary, which is the thing that really makes this deck get going.
It looks like it. He's tapping 3 mana. Sure does. Caballero.
So Knight of the Reliquary on turn 2 is already a 4/4. You see Anderson has a Deathrite Shaman. He's going to start eating away at the graveyard of Dye. Swords of Plowshare is going to take care of that.
Wow, and that Deathrite Shaman doing double duty work there.
Yeah. Ooh, and that's a new art Dark Confidant. I'm not used to seeing that yet.
Masters. That may be a topic for future conversation. I had my say on Twitter a couple of weeks ago when that card was spoiled. I don't know if I want to get into that. It's a little touchy as a fan of art. So we'll just continue with the action here. Brandon Dye, Swords to Plowshares, on the Dark Confidant, and then a Mother of Runes, foil Mother of Runes promo.
Now, one thing Todd knows is that when you're playing against Maverick, one of the things that you don't want to have happen is let Mother of Runes get active. So if you're able to actually take it down right now, you're going to want to take the opportunity to do that.
And he can. He has the Abrupt Decay in his hand.
There's a Windswept Heath down there, so.
He's going to activate the Deathrite again, exile your land. Abrupt Decay, the Mother of Runes. Mother of Runes has the ability to tap, give target creature protection of a color of your choice, so it would invalidate so much of the removal in the Esper Deathblade deck. You got to get it off the board immediately.
And I like the wastelanding there too, and the reason I like that is just simply because, I was going to say because it's a Deathrite Shaman, so cutting the resources and the mana is certainly good because he has this reusable effect, but now that that's gone, he's a little bottlenecked on mana now, where Brandon Dye has the mana advantage, but Todd does have a follow-up Deathrite Shaman and another Wasteland, so he's still doing okay, but we see both players working under very little resources right now.
Both of them utilizing their 1-drop creatures to make mana. And Brandon Dye casts a Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, and then attacks with the Noble Hierarch for 2 with 2 Exalteds.
So now Todd draws a Stoneforge Mystic for the turn. He's going to eat a land, the Savannah, and he's going to cast a expensive Brainstorm. So hit 1, 2, and 3. Caracas, Jace the Mind Sculptor, and a mystery card is put back very quickly. I believe it is a discard spell that Todd puts back. He taps the Caracas, and now he is going to cast Stoneforge Mystic and search up a piece of equipment.
And looks like we have a pause in the action here. The spotter is pointing something out. Asking perhaps, did you have enough mana to do all that?
Yeah, Todd playing pretty quickly. Understandably so, the spotter having a little bit of difficulty keeping up, but the Deathrite Shaman and the Wasteland help cast a Brainstorm. He resolves the Brainstorm, plays the Caracas, his land for the turn, and is able to cast Stoneforge Mystic and search up a Batterskull. So
gets the Batterskull. He kind of pulled the Umazaj Jite forward, was thinking about it with all the creatures on the board, but then decides to go with the Batterskull.
And now Thai is going to come across for 4 because of 2 Exalted triggers, so Todd is, even though he was stuck on just 1 land, he's recovering pretty nicely here. And now you're going to see a Green Sun Zenith for 1 because of Thalia.
Right. Is he doing this correctly? Does he? Yeah, okay. So he does remember his own Thalia. But notably, he did it after combat, missing a point of damage there from the Exalted.
Yeah, that's a little bit surprising.
It's so important in these matchups. Every last point, you know, with fetch lands and things, every last point of damage can matter.
And with Batterskull hanging out, and Todd can actually, man, Todd can do something absolutely gross this turn, where he can bounce that, yep. Which I knew he was going to see this, Thought sees
the Thalia away, also sees a Mother of Runes, and another Green Sun Zenith.
You know, but the big thing he can do this turn, depending on what he wants to do with that Thought Seize, is now, because Thalia is off the table, Todd has a land in his hand in Polluted Delta, and 2 other mana, so he can actually Detention Sphere away all 3 of those Noble Hierarchs.
That is absolutely filthy.
And I can't imagine that he's going to pass up on this opportunity for this 3-for-1.
3-for-1 that's going to cut Brandon die. No, what? He says go. He's leaving the mana up for Stoneforge Mystic. So Todd Anderson potentially missing an opportunity to completely cripple Brandon Dye's mana base. And he looks back at his hand.
I'm genuinely surprised by that.
I mean, is he respect? No, he chose the Mother of Runes with the Thoughtseize, so it's not even that he's afraid of that.
I am very surprised by that play by Anderson, of him not taking his opportunity for a 3-for-1 with Detention Sphere.
And here's the thing, even though Brandon Dye was left with the Green Sun Zenith and has the ability to get Qasali Pride Mage here, if you take away the 3 Noble Hierarchs, it would have been ages and ages before he would be able to do that if Todd had made that play with the Detention Sphere.
Yeah, now Todd can't even put in his Stoneforge, or his Batterskull, and also the casting Detention Sphere is difficult now too. Okay, so he is going to put in Batterskull.
Okay, but Brandon Dye has 1 mana available from the Noble Hierarch.
Yeah, I guess Todd. Okay, so Todd is fine with this happening, and is he going to Detention Sphere now?
So now he's going to do it, but he just kind of lost his Batterskull for no reason.
Yeah, that's the issue I have there too, is that he basically just lost his Batterskull for absolutely no reason. That Qasali Pride Mage should have had no effect on this game whatsoever. Probably shouldn't even be coming for 3 or 4 turns from now, because that came via Green Sun Zenith.
Right, so that cost 3 mana.
Yeah.
And this would have set Brandon Dye back to 2, and now 1 after the Wasteland.
But as we know, mistakes do happen. Nobody's perfect.
And I don't necessarily, it's not really a mistake. I mean, this is still a fine line of play, but you don't have a clock here.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a small little clock that has just been accelerated greatly due to a top deck Stoneforge Mystic. Now he can search for a piece of equipment, search for Umazawashite, put that into play, cast it, and then attack for 2. So things have turned around quite a bit. And now Brandon Dye is stuck with 1 basic forest. He's taking a draw step every turn, hoping to draw lands, and now Todd can just keep pressing his advantage.
I really think what happened there was that Todd had the search effect, right?
Okay.
And then he didn't look at his hand until after he was done shuffling, and I think during the shuffling he said go. So he did not reconfirm what was in his hand after completing the search effect to see the Detention Sphere, and thought, oh, well, I already said go, can't cast it anymore. So kind of doing a shortcut there, I believe, to pass the turn and then just missing the Detention Sphere.
I think I'm with you. As you see, Brandon Dye is going to he searches up a Taiga. Now, he does cast Umazawa's Jit to take care of the one that Anderson does have, but he searches up a Taiga, which is something you don't see a ton of in Maverick decks. Immediately, I start scanning the deck list, seeing what that Taiga's there for, and it's gonna, that Tundra, which is going to allow him to cast Geist of St. Traps, which are 3 copies in the main deck, as well as 4 copies of Spell Pierce in the sideboard for Dye's Maverick deck. So, something, again, that's non-traditional, but I was certainly curious to see that.
And now pecking back and forth, or pecking forth, Todd Anderson attacking with those 1/2 Stoneforge Mystics, getting a little extra damage with Deathrite Shaman, and keeping Brandon Dye locked down. The Caracas is keeping Athalia at bay. Now Brandon has a Qasali Pride Mage, which he's able to stick.
Yeah, but some Deathrite Shaman activations. Here comes the Life Loss.
Take 4.
He's got 1 more in the graveyard. And
take 4 more. And the Stoneforges will finish it.
Yeah, so Brandon Dye is going to concede the game, and Todd Anderson is going to win this match 2-0. Esper Deathblade is going to take it down. The deck that he just won a Legacy Open with 2 weeks ago in Baltimore, he's looking to run it back. Moves on to 2-1. Brandon Dye gets his second loss with Maverick, and a nice win there for